Well, hello, hello, hello. Once again, it's your guy, it's the Coach Ty, and I'm here with my rib unit, my favorite attorney at law, the most beautiful, intelligent woman I know.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Wanted to sit down and speak with you a little bit today, as many of you are entering week 4, week 3, wherever you are in the process of your schools being shut down for the year. We wanted to reach out to you because one of the main things that we keep hearing, and one of the main concerns that many parents have, is how do I find this balance between homeschooling and working? Mm-hmm. It's an issue that I know a lot of people are having as they're trying to figure out, one, they're trying to figure out how to work from home, and at the same time, they're trying to figure out how to homeschool. So it's a tough thing to balance, especially when you're having both of them thrown on you at the same time when you're not very familiar with it or used to operating in this environment.
Right, because working from home is a process of learning how to manage your own time. And then ensure that you can get everything you need done. And then because you're at home, it's hard not to do the things that need to be done at home because you're there. So, as adults, we first have to learn how to manage our own work time.
So a lot of you, for the first time, you're having to learn how to manage both. And a lot of the pressure comes, especially when you try to add on, I need to have my kid doing schoolwork for 6 to 8 hours a day. So a lot of you still have that mindset. Hopefully, many of you begin to back off of it. But if you still have that mindset, that's the first thing that we're going to tell you that you probably should let go. The idea that your kid needs to be in a school environment doing schoolwork for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Right. And there are other things your child can do. So as a parent, you might be thinking, well, I have to work 6 to 8 hours. So therefore my child has to be doing something. Well, this is an opportunity for your child to, develop some hobbies, some other skills, and learn to grow as an individual outside of academic coursework in the school day. Because the school day, as we can see, is sometimes it's a way for parents to actually have more time, to be at work.
So they're really covering the times. That's why they match so well the amount of hours. The school day has been built off of the traditional 8-hour work day to keep the kids covered while you are at work, not necessarily because it will take that long. So the first thing you need to really get your mind wrapped around as you begin to try to find this balance between working from home and homeschooling, get rid of the mindset that I have to have my child engaged on books 6 to 8 hours a day.
Right.
That's the very first tip that we will leave you with.
Right.
Now, number 2, and this goes along with, we had a question about how do I balance when I have older kids or younger kids, or I have kids that are different types of learners. One of the things that you can do if you have older children and younger children is allow and tell the older children to facilitate or tutor the younger kids during part of their academic work that may not necessarily need an adult presence, or is it going to be too difficult for your older child to be able to help them with if they can.
Right. And beyond this helping the parents manage their time, this is also helping the older child, because the older child is learning how to facilitate. The older child is learning how to explain something to someone who needs to learn it, which is a skill for, mastery. Then the younger child is also learning from, someone closer to a peer. And a lot of times peer learning is very beneficial for children, because you're more receptive when somebody is closer to your age, teaching you versus an adult.
Or versus mommy and daddy standing over your shoulder, get this done. A lot of times that older sibling will be able to relate to that younger sibling in a way that you could never do, and explain it because it's still fresher in their mind when they actually learned that or covered that topic themselves.
Right. And then the older child is feeling like, I'm a teacher, so then that's motivational for them. And then, they're kind of building up their own self-esteem and ability and knowledge. And they're like, oh, you know what? I'm pretty good at this.
And like Nicole mentioned, those quote-unquote soft skills, you're allowing your older child to work on those soft skills when it comes to leading and teaching others. This also builds right into one of our Amy approach building blocks of the love of learning. When you can sit there and walk somebody through something and help them learn something, that, to your point, builds that level of confidence and helps instill that love of the learning process, because the learning process is not just learning, but it's also learning how to teach. When you are a teacher, you are an integral part of the learning process.
Right.
So that's our second tip. 1, get rid of that mindset of 6 to 8 hours of learning. 2, empower your older children to work with your younger children to help not only the younger child get through their work, but develop more skills into your older children besides just doing the academic coursework.
Right, and even a 1-year age gap can work with just a 1 or 2 year age gap, because even if they're closer in age, the older child will still enjoy teaching the younger child something and feeling like, oh, mommy, daddy, they trust me to teach my sibling something new.
All right. Number 3, we'll keep the video short. Number 3, you want to invest undisrupted time early to gain yourself time later. What do I mean by this? What are we talking about when we say this? There are going to be topics and there are going to be things that you need to cover academically where your child is going to need your attention. They're going to need you to walk them through and actually help them understand something that they're having a difficulty understanding themselves. If you invest the time early to really sit down undisrupted and talk and work with your child through that, you will gain time later in the day as you can now unleash them to go and practice and put the repetition that is necessary to make sure they understand the information that you covered with them earlier. Now, if you try to just piecemeal it, you will find your day completely distracted. You will not be able to be very productive in your work, nor will your child be able to be productive in their work, because there'll be constant, mommy, daddy, can you, I got a question about, and now everybody's constantly in a state of flux.
Right, and so it feels like it's time consuming to take this chunk of time and focus, but it really saves time later on in the day.
And then that goes along to 2 of our other building blocks when it comes to the Amy approach, because as you're sitting there and giving that undisrupted time, the other thing that you can do is you can set goals for the day. What are we trying to accomplish today? This will also enable your child to have their day, help them schedule it out. What's our goals for the day? What work are we trying to get done? What do I expect to get done? What do you want to get done during this undisrupted time? Now you can unleash the kid, and they're practicing scheduling, which is a big part of the goal setting building block in the Amy approach. The other one is the work ethic piece. At a certain point, and the sooner the better, you want your child to be able to sit down and motivate themselves to get their work done. You want them to develop that work ethic that doesn't require you standing over their shoulder with a constant cattle prod trying to get them to go. When you can sit down early in the day and talk about what we want to accomplish with the day, that gives them the ability to show and work towards, here's how much I need to work, here's how hard I need to work to accomplish the goals that I set today.
Right. And then while you're doing this, you can let your child know, okay, we're going to focus on this in the morning, then I need this time, I need this from this time to this time so that I can focus on my work. So you focus on your work during these same hours. And so the child and you are both clear that these are our focused work hours.
And that goes right into our next tip, which is establishing boundaries. Because when you're establishing those timelines and that schedule, you're also establishing time boundaries. Like, here's the times that we're working on. Here's the times that I'll be available to work on this. And then here's the times where I need to go get my work done. And this allows you as a parent to provide a very important model for your child. When you schedule your day out and say, okay, during this time and this time, I have to be working, it's great for them to see you take time out, use that time, be efficient and productive in that time, and then hold yourself to those times. You're modeling the behavior that you want your children to be able to pick up when it comes to being able to schedule out their day and holding themselves to time schedules and being productive in the time allotted. These are great things that, without even thinking about it, this is what you're able to do as you're trying to find this balance between working and homeschooling. you are now modeling the behavior of a business owner,
right,
of a self-driven, self-scheduling individual.
Right, and it's the skill your child is learning because when they go back to school, they'll be able to do their work with less prompts. The teacher can give them an assignment, they can get the instructions, they can ask whatever questions they need, and now they've learned how to be independent workers.
Now, one of the things that we haven't touched on, because understanding not everyone that's out there listening is going to have two parents in the home. But one of the things that we definitely do, if you can take advantage of this, split time. Mm-hmm. Split time with your spouse. While Nicole and I both kind of specialize in the areas that we take ownership of with our children's education, we also split time when it comes to who needs to be with the children. If one of us has something that is urgent, needs to take us out of the house, or needs to take us in the area where we are, it could be quiet because we need to have a conversation or a conference call or a phone call. When you're able to split the work up and the monitoring of the children, this helps you balance out. And then once again, now here's you and your spouse or you and your significant other. You need to sit down and say, okay, what's your schedule like? What's your day like? How can we split this up to where the children are getting everything that they need and we're still able to accomplish what we need to accomplish professionally? Great idea to bring the children into those conversations because once again, now you're modeling the scheduling that goes into the goal setting. And you want your children to be able to see that and go through that process so they can learn to do it for themselves one day.
Right, and they're also learning communication and how to do time management. They're learning how to balance all of these different pieces to make everything work and be efficient as you can have it.
And then the last point that we'll give you, the last tip that we'll give you with this video is, and we've mentioned it before, the creativity time aspect of it. Schedule time and schedule activities that can keep your children occupied that require very little oversight or monitoring or participation by you. You want them to be able to have time where they can, like our daughter knits. She's picked up knitting and her free time, whenever she has time where she's not getting things done academically and we're not allowing her to go sit on screens and waste time, she'll sit down and she'll knit. And that's a perfect kind of example of a hobby that she's been able to pick up that keeps her occupied while also having her, she's able to plan. When she looks at her knitting, she's like, okay, I want to create a scarf. I have this many days that I want to get it done in. This is how long I need to work on it each day in order for me to accomplish my goal. Once again, going back into that goal setting building block of the Amy approach. And the only reason that she's been able to do that is because we've afforded her the opportunity and we've developed in our household this creativity time.
And that's a very important time for the kids. They look forward to that creativity time.
And once again, this is screen free. This isn't go play video games. This is go find a activity or a hobby that is, it can be academically related. Some people, like Legos and building or crafts and art, all these different areas of the educational field that may not necessarily, a lot of our schools don't even have time to allow the kids to do this stuff right now. So this is a great opportunity for you to find that balance. Divvy out time. If you sit there and you're going through your schedule, it's like, okay, look, we both have something that we have to be on a call. This is an hour and a half block, a 2 hour block. They're going to have creativity time. And they'll be so excited about it that they won't even come bother you because they don't want to stop creativity time. They're enjoying what they're doing. They're enjoying the hobbies that they have that's still allowing them to better and work their mind academically without doing the daddy needs to be helping me do these calculations in my arithmetic today. So just a few tips for those of you looking to find balance. We understand that balance is a big part and a big concern for those of you who are new to the homeschooling and working from home environment. We hope that everything is going well. We understand. I see the Facebook post all the time with the people. They're like, oh my God, I can't wait. I have one of my classmates. I won't say her name. Her last name is with a G though. I won't say her name. But she said one of the things that she will not do definitely once all this is over, she said she will never homeschool again. And I'm like, oh, come on. But I can understand. She's got a bunch of boys, a bunch of young boys. I bet she's having a tough time balancing all that energy. But it can be done. You can do it. You can find that balance utilizing these few tips. And as you utilize these few tips and you are able to establish that balance, one of the things that you will help in your child and help to instill in your child, as Nicole has mentioned in previous, and we've done videos about this before, is the growth mindset.
The growth mindset, yes. And I posted a old video from last year yesterday, so you can check that out. The growth mindset being when a person realizes that even though this is what I started with, this is not where I have to end. I can grow from wherever I am.
You have control. Your children have control. Wherever they are in their educational process and their learning process, they have control over where they'll end up. And you are helping give them that control as you work to find the balance of homeschooling, working from home, and still giving your kids all the attention that they need. So, with that being said, we'll cut this video off. Thank you very much for your time. We hope that everything's going well out there for you. Please share the video. Other people need to know that they too can find a balance and be successful. Peace.